and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. It's a Victory Monday. Woo! Yeah, we beat those fucking Packers. 24-22. Go Bears! Boy, is that good. And you know what that means? It's time for the victory song. And I haven't been able to sing it in 10 weeks. And I know you guys have been missing it because this voice, no one can compare to what I can do with the victory song. It's actually the touchdown song, and I don't like the song, but I'm going to sing it because you know what? We beat them, and that means bear down, Chicago Bears, make every play, clear the way to victory. Fuck you, Packers. Bear down, Chicago Bears, put up a fight that white so fearlessly. We'll never forget the way you thrilled the nation with your T formation. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Let them know why you're wearing the crown. In 2025, you're the pride and joy of Illinois. Chicago Bears, bear down. Oh man, wasn't that awesome? I mean the game. Hello, I am one happy show announcer today. Yes, 24-22, 2 seconds left. The Bears kick a field goal and beat those damn Packers. Yes, I love looking on the faces of all those people in the stands. They're all like, yeah, we know how it feels. We did it. Oh my God. It was awesome. And the best part is now the Packers have to go to Philly next Sunday, I think it is, and they have to play them in Philly, wild card. And to me, if you go to the playoffs as a wild card and you don't win, there's no point in even doing it. It don't do nothing for me, and there's nothing more that I'm going to want to watch is the Eagles beat the crap out of Green Bay. Yeah, baby. Let's embarrass them. Let's embarrass them on national TV because you suck. And we finally broke the curse of 11 straight games they beat us. Can you believe it? But we got a victory. And I got to tell you, I didn't think it was going to happen with all the stupid stuff that was going on. So today, I'm going to talk very little bit about the bad, and we're going to concentrate on the good because it's been a long year. And since the Washington game, pretty much, I've been bitching for 10 games, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm going to give a little props to our Chicago Bears that need a little love. We're going to talk a little bit about the stupid stuff, and then we're going to move forward. So the Bears actually won the game, even with the 7 stupid penalties, the predictable play calling on the offense, and number 13 throwing that stupid interception. Stupid. And number 2 fumbling the ball. But the defense, and even with the defense giving up 367 total yards, we beat the fucking Packers. Yeah, baby. We snapped a 10-game losing streak this season, thank God, and a 11-game losing streak to the Packers. And we finally did it. And I know it's been a shit-ass season, but boy, doesn't this make you feel better? I mean, oh my God, it was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. All the shit that hurt us this year, we came back and did it to a team, and we did it to the best team ever, the Packers. Now, we know they're going to the playoffs, but we hurt them. And we hurt their 2 quarterbacks. Those guys are feeling pain today because they played the Chicago Bears yesterday. Right on. It was scary at moments. It was great. It was fun. It was sad. It was exciting. It was frightening. It was everything. So let's start. with some of the things. So first thing is Williams, Cabe Williams. I know my son hates it I call him Cabe, but I don't care. It's my show. I'm going to call him whatever I want. So Williams made some history for the franchise, too. He became the first Bear quarterback since Jay Cutler in 2009 to start every game. Considering all the sacks, 68, I believe he has this season, and all the hits he took, the offensive line being very bad. This is wildly impressive. Good for you, Williams. We have a quarterback, people. We have a quarterback, and he showed it yesterday. So I'm going to do a little stats on what people did yesterday. We're not going to talk about the Packers on their stats. F them. Cabe was 21 of 29 for 148 yards, and those 148 yards came when we really needed it. He had one touchdown, and he had 10 yards rushing. Number 4, Swift, our running back, had 20 touches with 65 yards rushing with one touchdown. He was getting yards when we needed it. I think we should have kept running it more, but, whatever. You know how I feel about Swift. We're not going down the negative road too much today. Number 2, Moore. He touched the ball 9 times for 86 receiving yards. Great game, some great catches, especially that 32-yarder. He had one touchdown, as I just mentioned. And on the defense, number 31, these guys really stood out. Number 31, Bard. He had a total of 14 tackles, 9 solo and 5 assists for 14 tackles. He also had a sack, and he hit the quarterback and forced a fumble. Number 9, Edmonds. He had 4 solo tackles, 5 assists, gave him 9 tackles. Stevenson was all over the field yesterday. He had 4 assists, 4 solo tackles, and 8 altogether. He was everywhere. He was all over the field. He played a really good game, one of his better games since the Washington fuck-up. Edwards, number 53, had a sack. Number 93, Coward, had a sack. Number 1, Jalen Johnson, who unfortunately got hurt at the end of the third quarter. He forced a fumble in the first quarter. He was all over the field until he got hurt. He really was. He was up in the quarterback's face. It was awesome. And then number 39, Blackwell, runs back a punt to put the Bears on the board first. It was 7-0. That was just beauty right there. And the last time the Bears had a punt return for a touchdown was 2021. Yeah, it's been a few years. And it was on that fake punt where Moore was pretending to catch it. And he was out there, so they didn't want to kick it to him, so they kicked it to the other side. 39 took it for the touchdown. And the Bears lead. And for most of the game, the Bears were on top, which made a huge difference, right? See what happens when your offense can score points. It helps your defense because they can look up and see, wow, we're winning 14-3 or 14-10 or 14-13. Then it was 21. It helps your defense, and it showed, right? The defense had 3 sacks and 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles caused by the defense. And I'm kind of wondering where this defense was since that losing streak started, because this defense showed up. They held them to less than 200 yards passing between the two quarterbacks. The running, I think it was like 148 yards, but who cares? We won. They played. The Bears defense hurt, as I said, both of the quarterbacks. Love went out. He hurt his elbow because we hit him on it. And then the other guy, Willis, came in, and at the end of the game, they were warming up Love again because they didn't know if Willis could go back in. And they only had 3 sacks, which was great. Don't get me wrong. I love the 3 sacks. But what was really good about it is they were in the quarterbacks' faces all day. They were hitting them. They were getting in their heads. And that's how you do it. You know, the sacks are awesome, but the hits and getting in their face are just as productive, and it showed. This is what I've been asking for the whole season. But it's like, where were these defenses? And then they all had these cards that said finish, and they were showing them on the field. They were doing this to each other. Thank God. Whatever that one of the players said, they had a really deep conversation Saturday night about this game, and whatever it was, it worked. You gotta end the game. You gotta end your season, no matter how shitty it was, with a win. It just changes everything, because now you're in 2025 and you've got a victory against your biggest rival. You stopped the losing streak with the team and the Packers. It's just, that was our Super Bowl, people. That was our Super Bowl, wasn't it? It was just awesome, even though it got a little dicey there, which we're going to talk about. But the Bears defense stopped Green Bay on a 4-3. And we got the ball back. And after they stopped him on downs, the ball came back to the offense. And what did they do? He throws to Moore. He goes down and gets that long touchdown for 32 yards. That was a thing of beauty on both ends. The catch and the run and the throw was awesome. And for the first time, I think this season, the Bears on offense, after the defense turned it back over them, were productive. What a difference that makes, right, people? I mean, it was awesome. And then they did give up yards. They would give up the running yards. That was the most, disappointing. But when it counted, they held Green Bay to check. They didn't let them get a lot of points. The Bears were leading, as I said, most of the game till the end, but the defense really, really stood up. Everybody on that team. It was a win by all three phases of the Chicago Bears. The offense, the defense, and the special teams. And look what happens. There was games before our losing streak, we're in the first half of the season, where this happened. Where on the games that we won, all three phases did what they were supposed to, and wow. See what can happen? See what can happen? It's awesome. So the offense played pretty well too, especially Gabe, man. He showed up, and he just showed that there was a couple passes. One, I think it was a DJ Moore, and it was only about a 10-yard pass, but he was covered, and he threw that ball in there. Even the defender just couldn't believe it. I don't think even Moore believed he caught it. It was awesome. Swift, I told you what he had. So he had a good game. He did it when we needed it. I would like to see 100 yards, but this guy is not that answer. We know it. But he had a pretty damn good game, and I'll give it to him. 18, Gabe really showed up at the end of the game. Did he not? I mean, especially at the end of the game where they had the stupid penalty, the time clock problems again, and by losing by 1 point. It was 21-22, and I got to tell you, when he came down and he got us down within 51 yards to make that field goal, it was awesome. I mean, I didn't think they were going to get the ball clocked, and they did. I was very impressed when DJ Moore caught that ball. He got up, they went to the line, 2 seconds, and Carlos Santo was... What is it? He gets it back from losing to the Packers on the final kick. This time he beats them, and it was a good damn kick, and the Bears win. But Gabe, he showed, considering, what he has done this year has been really remarkable. He started every game. He got better every week. Yet he's still a rookie, and he's got to learn to throw the ball out more. I was yelling that yesterday. He did. And the O-line had a pretty good game at times. At times they didn't, but times they did. And you got to give props to them. And this stat I heard in the game yesterday, I couldn't believe it. The Bears have had 27 different starting O-lines this season. You're not going to win with that. Your O-line has to be consistent. So the only starting guy who started the season and finished the season on the line was Darnell White. He was the only one. Everybody else was hurt, moved around. A bunch of them were on injured reserve. So lots of work to do with the offensive line, but I'm going to give them some props. They hung in there and they did what it took to get some rushing yards and passing yards to pull out that win. There was four game balls given out yesterday. Caleb Williams got one, deserved it. Moore definitely deserved it with some of those catches. Special teams got a game ball, which they deserved. And then number one, our awesome defensive Jalen Johnson, got a game ball too, because he was all over the field. He caused the fumble. He looked like Peanut Tillman out there, wasn't he? He just punched it out. I'm like, yeah, baby. And unfortunately, he didn't play the fourth quarter, and I just hope he's okay. But this was a thing of beauty. And like I said, they all three phases. It was just beautiful. So in that fourth quarter, though, I brought this up earlier, Daryl Johnston, who I want to say he played most of his career with Dallas. He said, when he said this, I couldn't believe it. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. He said, I bet the Bears fans are saying about now, because we were still winning 21. We were up, and then he says, I bet the Bears fans, we were winning at this point, are saying to themselves, how can the Bears lose this game? And then literally the next play, Moore fumbles the ball. Green Bay gets the ball. Bears defense hold them to a field goal. They're up 21-22 with 48 seconds left for our offense. I was just like, what the fuck, Johnston? And he was like silent, and he said, well, I didn't mean it for it to happen today. Don't say stuff like that when you're calling a Bears game. Not cool, man. But you know what? It did happen, and I will tell you, I'm sure every Bears fan, I could feel it. I just was like, when Moore fumbled it, I was just sitting back in my chair, and I literally, my eyes started to well up like I was going to cry. I was so upset, hurt, disappointed. I'm like, come on, man. We really need this, And Johnston didn't help. Shut your mouth. Shut your pie hole. And what did we do? We went like this to him. And the Bears, then Cabe comes out with 48 seconds left, and he's to the rescue. And he gets us into field goal range. 2 seconds on the clock. A 51-yard field goal. Good! Bears win! Oh my God, was this the best for a very, very shitty season. And you know what? It was awesome. I just don't know what else to say. I'm not, there were some things. If this victory, and this game was played earlier in the season, I would have talked about both teams and the Bears' mistakes, because they had them, but they overcame them, which is huge. Their heads were 100% in this game. And why haven't they been playing like that since Washington? There's many reasons. But one thing, Mrs. McCaskey, Virginia Hallis McCaskey, who was the owner, turned 102 yesterday. And what a birthday present for her, because I know they can't stand Green Bay. I've talked to George McCaskey on the phone, and he won't even say Green Bay. He gets mad if you do. So happy birthday, Mrs. McCaskey, because God bless her, 102. She might not see another one. And you know what? What a great way. But you know what? 2025 is going to be it. But the Bears showed when really push comes to shove, they can do it. You know what? I was a little disappointed with some of the guys on the defensive line. Dexter had a good day. Booker was in there. The Edwards, Stevenson, JJ. Gordon had some good plays. The defense really, really, really stepped up, and they all played well. I will tell you my biggest disappointment on the defense, well, there's two. One, Brisker being out all those games. I think that's really changed the defense a lot for the Bears, and I am praying that kid comes back, because he is good and was sorely missed. But Sweat, I am not happy with that. He ended the year with 5.5, I think. I didn't look it up, but I think it was 5.5 sacks. It could be 6, but it wasn't double digits. And he's getting paid to get double digit sacks. So, and I didn't see them. They were taking them out a lot, and I'm just wondering what's going on there. Some of the players this week, I read a lot of stuff, and I started reading in between the lines because there's players like JJ, Clement, Bard, Cabe, who all pretty much said the same thing. And then Clement said it, said it yesterday after the game about going off of this win and starting for 2025 with a good head coach. And what he said yesterday was, I'm hoping we get somebody who's going to make people accountable. We have some growing up to do in this locker room. There were some tough times, and there was a lot of immaturity in this locker room. So, you know what? I knew there was stuff going on since that Washington game, and they didn't have a head coach that could nip it in the bud and get these guys focused, and it showed. The last 10 games we lost. And that's where a really good head coach comes in. Obviously, we didn't have it. We didn't have a good head coach going in, and then it got fucked up completely where we ended up having an assistant coach running the team. I mean, and he did some bonehead moves like when we were going to go for the 2-point conversion, and then they get the penalty, and they're much closer, and then they decide not to, and then they go for the extra point. I mean, that looks stupid, but it didn't matter. We won the game. But there was things like that. So, but that's the importance of a head coach, how important. And these guys, and during the week, between last week's game and this week's game, I did see a lot of guys saying the same things. Accountability, maturity, showing up every day for the game, for practice, on the field, off the field. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on in that locker room we didn't know, but we saw it on the field, except for yesterday. We saw a team that we saw play before the Washington game, a defense, and they're banged up too, but they played their asses off, and they proved with hard work and determination and a little pride, you can win. And they did it. And they did it for us fans because they know us fans needed it. I mean, my God. So this will help everybody kind of get through the spring and summer. Of course, it depends on who they hire. I have been saying for a good long time now, Mike Gravel. But now that New England fired their coach after 1 year, which I never understand that. He's played for New England. My son's like, he's going to New England, Mom. And I'm like, oh, shit, you're probably right. So, but I hope he at least comes and lets the Bears talk to him. I want him. I know everybody wants Ben Johnson or this and that, but I want a guy who's been a head coach first before and who's also played football and won Super Bowls. And Gravel is the answer. He's going to get in your face. He's going to make those players accountable. And that's what we need. That's what we were lacking on this 10-game losing streak after Washington. Flus had an opportunity to save his job and to save this season by rallying these guys after that horrible loss, particularly his fault and their fault. It was 50-50. And had he stepped up and been the right man for the job, the Bears could have saved this season. I think they could. We all know they could have won at least half of those games, those 10 games they lost in that losing streak. We know it. What did they say? They said they lost, I forget, something like 7 or 8 games by less than 7 points. I mean, that means you're in the game, right? But you're doing stupid stuff. And I said last week on the offensive play call, we were predictable yesterday. There was these behind-the-line scrimmages throws to Moore or throwing to Moore or when he's out there and they're on to you because they know you're going to do it and you get nothing. You know what I said last week? You got nothing to lose, Bears. Throw the ball down the field. Let's see what this kid's got. And I think they opened it up a little bit yesterday, and he showed it. He's got it. So what's important here is, so we know he's the quarterback. He's got the physical tools. Now it becomes mental. and what he does from season 1 to season 2 in the off season. What he needs to be doing is working on footwork, timing a little bit better, throwing the ball out of bounds. What he needs to do is start watching a lot of film on some good quarterbacks like Brady. Watch what he did. Some of those guys, and so that's going to be interesting. But I will be back Friday to wrap up the season, talk about everybody's final stats, talk about Cade moving forward, and our future head coach. Right now, I'm still fucking celebrating. And, I wasn't going to drink yesterday. And when they fumbled that ball and things were not going well at the end of the game, I text my buddy who I used to do a show with, and I said, I wasn't going to drink today, but I got to open a beer because I can't handle this without a beer. And then I didn't get one yet. And then the game is over, and I'm like, well, I got to open up a beer now. I got to celebrate. I only had a couple, but because, boy, did I party for 10 days in Kentucky and Tennessee over Christmas and New Year's. Woo! This my niece was like, when I was in Kentucky at one night, I was like, I've got to go to bed. It's 11:30. I'm booting. She's like, you're going to bed? She goes, you're always the one that stays up late. I'm like, not anymore, sweetie. I'm 66 and a half. I'm exhausted. And I'm a Bears fan. I'm really exhausted, especially after that Thursday night game with the Seahawks, 6-3. What the fuck was that? But anyways, we won. And I was saying I partied a lot. I really did. Whew. I had to come home to Vegas just to get some rest. But I am back, baby, and I am happy. I am really... We needed that win so bad. And the fact, it wouldn't mean quite as much, that win, if it was against another team, but it was, man, the fucking Packers. F you guys. And we're coming back, Packers. We're going to show you next season. Guess what? And what was really cool about our division this year, we had 3 teams go into the playoffs. That is unheard of. And 2 teams at 14-2. That's never happened. And it was from our division. So Bears are going to be back. And I'm predicting that Minnesota is going to be on the bottom next year, not our Chicago Bears. We're going to be, I'm going to say it, we're going to win the division. I said it. I know. I said it. We're going to win the division in 2025. Because you know why? It's my 50th year watching the Bears. And I watch them. I am a fan in and out. I bleed orange and blue. You bet, baby. So, yeah. 2025 is the Chicago Bears year because it's my 50th and I'm taking nothing less than winning the division. Yeah. All right, baby. Can you tell I'm happy? I am really happy. And I want to thank everybody for watching me this season. I'm going to be back Friday. We're going to talk about, the season, and we're going to do the final stats and this and that and talk about the team a little bit more. But really, thank you. I know these last how many games have been rough. I've seen my viewership go down, but I get it. You don't really want to hear about it. Believe me, that's why I took off 2 weeks and skipped 2 games. I've never done that in the 5 years I've been doing this. I rain or shine, or win or lose, I'm in front of the camera. But I needed those 2 weeks, and it didn't matter because I lost both of the games. So, but I needed it more than anything because my head was just, again, 49 years, I've seen a lot. I did that show a couple weeks ago where I gave you all the wins and losses. I've seen more losses than wins. There's been 55 for the 49 years I watched the Bears. There was 55 different starting quarterbacks. Do I need to say any more? This one really got to me. It got to me the most out of all 49 seasons because of last year. And then we came in, like I said, the Bears, they know how to make Kool-Aid, that's for sure, because we drank it 2 years in a row and we bought in. And that's what really hurt this season, I think, because we waited, and we were hearing all these things out of Halas Hall. Well, it was a bunch of bullshit. Noise. White noise, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know, but now we need to get the right head coach and the right coaching staff to mentor Cade more so he can take that next step and take us all the way. And then Poles has a lot of work to do on the offensive line, defensive line, running back, etc., which you know. But damn, that was great. So I do want to thank you all. I really appreciate it. I got a lot of good viewers this year. It was mostly to what was the name? Greg from Shigo, who watched my show after we lost to the Packers the first time, and he liked my show, and he called me out, and I got close to 250 new subscribers from him doing that. So thank you, Greg. I really appreciate it. You're the best. I know you said I was going to be on your show, but I knew I wouldn't. He said I would, but I've watched their show. I'm not going to be somebody they put on the show, but that's okay. I got subscribers and I've got you guys watching me now, so thank you. And I want to give a few shout outs. I wanted to do this last week. My niece's husband, Andrew, in Kentucky, he's a Seahawks fan. But I tell you what, he does keep an eye on the Bears, and he always talks to me about it, and he turns my shows on all the time. He says he's a nurse, and he's like, I can't always watch them, but I turn them on so I can hear them as I'm moving around, and he's not even a Bears fan. Only 2 people in my very large family watch me. My brother, I think he watches me most of the time, not every week, and then Andrew, who is a big Louisville fan and a Seahawks fan, but he is always saying, go Bears to me. So, and thanks for watching, man. And I want to give another shout out to somebody, and I don't know if she's going to watch this show. I don't even know if she does. But this woman I reconnected with a couple years ago. I used to go to high school. I went to junior high and high school with her. We were on the softball team. We won a championship together. And her name is Kathy, and her nickname is Weeds. And she's really a remarkable woman. She was a school teacher all her years. She's retired. She is a Cubs fan like I'm a Bears fan. She bleeds blue. She only wears Cubs gear. I wear a lot of Bears gear, but not as much as she wears Cubs gear. And she's a huge, huge fan. She even works there part-time in the season, kind of an usher, kind of keeping people. She walks around the aisles and stuff. She goes to all the spring trainings. She's a really good person. And more I've seen that following her on Facebook. This woman, she's 66, like me, probably 66 and a half because we're the same age. And in the next couple days, she is giving a kidney, one of her kidneys, to a Cubs fan, a woman, probably around our age. I guess, I don't know her story, but obviously she needs a kidney because her kidneys aren't working. So she's giving her a kidney. Is that cool? I mean, what a very unselfish, big thing to do, because my husband had a kidney transplant. He lost both of his kidneys back in 92. He lost both of his kidneys to a very awful disease, which ended up taking his life in 2008. And in 1996, his brother gave him a kidney. And I saw how it changed my husband back to be the person he was before. Because when he didn't have kidneys, it was rough. He was on both kinds of dialysis. It was bad. But that made a difference. And I know what people go through who give the kidneys. It's painful. The person given the kidney has more pain than the person who gets the kidney, because sometimes they have to break your ribs to get your kidney out. And that happened to my brother-in-law. And he's like, nobody told me that. And we're like, well, of course we didn't. We didn't want you to back out. So, Kathy, whether you watch or not, God bless you. You are a wonderful woman. And I tell you what, if there were more people like you, this country of ours would be a lot better off. But they are out there like you. God bless you. Good luck to you both. And again, thank you all for watching. It's been wonderful. I have a lot of people, regulars who make comments, and I love it. I really appreciate it. And have I not stopped smiling this whole show? I mean, it is so much better to be smiling about the Bears than, which I was for most of the season. for sure 10 games. So, great. I want to say hi to Brian. I know you're watching. I hope my show lived up to what you wanted today. He's one of my son's old buddies from growing up. He watches. Thank you, bud. And everybody else. Again, thank you. I love you all. And I love Mama Chicago Bears. 24-22. Bears beat the fucking Packers. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Okay, I'm done. And on that note, as I always say, be kind, stop hate, love one another. It really makes a big difference. Everybody's so kind in December and giving. Why can't we do that the other 11 months? Let's start doing it now. Let's pretend this is Christmas for the rest of the year and just help people, smile at people, be kind. We can get through this because we're not sure what kind of year we're going to have. It's going to be interesting. I know I have a lot of work to do physically and mentally. I got to get my body back in shape after my rough second half of this year. I plan on doing it. And I think the future looks bright, everybody. I really, really do. So I'll see you guys Friday. We'll wrap up the season. We'll talk about everybody's final stats and this and that, and maybe some talk about a new head coach. I wish the Bears would get their shit together and do it right now, but they got to take their time and be right about it. Right? Right. So, Bears win 24-22. F you, Packers. And on that note, I'll see you Friday. And as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby.